Memes are the fast fashion of the internet. Sounds a little bit crazy, a little bit out there. Why am I talking about this? Because I like to. And just stick with me, because I feel like you'll see that I'm right here. I guess to understand it though, you might want to know what fast fashion is. So fast fashion really started in the 90s, where clothes started to be made more cheaply, and trend cycles happened more frequently, and shopping turned into more of a hobby than an activity that must be done to, get your groceries and survive. So new stores started creating cheap, trendy clothes that were like cute, you could wear it a few times, throw it away, but they were very low in price. That way they could kind of take the extra little bit of money that people had without making people feel bad, because they only spent like maybe $5, $10 on it. This grew even more popular with the rise of online shopping. Websites that always have everything for 40% off, so all the things are always like $8. And later on we'll talk about why fast fashion is such a big problem, but right now I kind of want to address the meme part, because that's the title of this video. Before we jump into the actual content, subscribe for more videos like this. As you can see, I'm starting to really enjoy these video essays. I think I'm getting better at it. And part of getting better at it is outsourcing to people who know better than me. So I want to thank Sabrina. She's popped up on this channel a few different times. She knows way more about the fashion world than I do and is regularly invested in it. So I asked her to help me with the script, and she did such an in-depth, detailed script. I felt bad because I'm only going to use a part of it because I only needed a few things. She went overboard. A queen, as always. So thank you, Sabrina, for your help. But with that out of the way, let's jump into all the similarities between memes and fast fashion. First, new styles constantly. Part of the idea of fast fashion is to get clothes on the shelves as quickly as possible. Obviously, this is the exact same for memes, making memes about an event or an interview or anything that happened in the world as soon as it comes out. Like, those memes are being made seconds after. Pieces of fast fashion have a very specific high spike of popularity right at the very beginning. Same way that memes have that high spike of virality right at the beginning. That quickly tapers off because both memes and fast fashion trends get old very quickly. And with getting old very quickly, we have to talk about longevity. Fast fashion kind of introduced the idea into the clothing world that wearing something more than once was like a faux pas. In the same way, we see reusing memes as pretty uncreative or unintelligent. Like, oh, we already saw this before. Like, you don't have any more material, you're just copying other people. And because longevity is so low, the amount of seasons per year has skyrocketed. Usually there's 4 seasons, the spring, summer, fall, winter seasons of fashion. However, with fast fashion, there are now usually around 52 seasons per year. That's right, a new season of style every single week. Because companies that produce fast fashion clothing know that the clothes don't last very long, and so they have to push out the next new style as quickly as possible so that people just buy something new instead of actually thinking about the fact that they just have the shirt they wore once or twice and then threw away. Let's be realistic, there's a new viral meme every 3 days on Reddit, and it takes a little bit longer for it to diffuse to the rest of the internet, but still, memes cycle in and out of virality really quickly, especially with TikTok becoming such a major platform, which goes into quantity over quality. As I said, companies know that this stuff is dirt cheap, so they're producing as much of it as possible in new styles, new cuts, new colors, new trends, so that they can keep raking in that money without ever having to produce quality clothing. Do I really need to say more from the meme perspective? There are millions of trash tier memes, but we keep producing them because they're good for a quick nose exhale. Now I want to jump into some of the key features of fast fashion. 1, thousands of styles that touch on all the latest trends. On the meme side, one meme image can have millions of different top text, bottom text on it, so that it's a slightly different joke. Slight tweaks that make the meme new and more trendy and more viral, so it can keep being quickly produced. Next is a short turnaround time from when the outfit is on a runway to when it's in stores, widely available. That can happen in a day. Memes are the exact same way. The memes are literally being made about an event as the event is happening. There was that election debate with the fly on Joe Biden's head that was becoming a meme while the debate was still going on. Or a more recent one, I was in Nicki Minaj's live stream last night when she announced that she was going to make her mixtape Beam Me Up Scotty available on streaming platforms. And Drake joined her live stream because they're friends, And I was also on Twitter because Nicki Minaj was trendy. I was refreshing every few seconds. And memes about their live stream and the cute stuff that they were saying to each other were being made seconds after they said it. I would hear them say it, and then I'd refresh 2 times, and then there'd be memes about it. There was less than 30 seconds in between event happening and meme being created. And we're rewarded for that behavior because the newer and fresher and more original the meme, the more like likes and views it usually gets. I know there's outside factors like algorithms and stuff like that, but overall, original content is valued more highly than unoriginal or already done content. Another big element of fast fashion is offshore manufacturing. Extremely cheap labor from sweatshops where people are paid next to nothing, have no breaks, terrible working conditions, but it's okay because we get a cute new top. Now I was going to make a joke about your stereotypical Redditor who is a slightly overweight white male with thick glasses, scruffy beard, 30 years old, living in his mom's basement. And that's the equivalent of offshoring labor to a different people group. However, I feel like that would be very rude and insensitive of me to say that, especially considering that in the real world, it's being done to people who are literally like struggling to feed themselves on a daily basis. I'm comparing it to someone who's just living in his mom's basement. Like, I'm saying this so you see the comparison, but at the same time, I want to make it clear that one of these is infinitely more heartbreaking than the other. And then we have forced limited quality, which was pioneered by Zara, which is the tactic of a company only purchasing so much of a certain trend or style and not letting that information be widely known, so that customers that want to buy something feel like they have to buy it right that second, otherwise it won't be available. And they're usually right. They usually do have to buy it right that second or it won't be available. Forced limited supply to increase demand. It also gives the idea like, oh, you missed out on this trend, but the next one starts in like 5 days, so like you better be on time for that one. Same thing with memes. The time window for a meme to be funny is getting shorter and shorter. Even on like TikTok and Twitter, like the lifetime is like maybe a few days at max, maybe a week. If it's like extremely well done, you could get away with making a meme like a couple of weeks, maybe, after it was like really popular, but then you're risking it. Another aspect of fast fashion is that companies use polyester or other cheap quality materials to make their clothes. And compare that to the internet world, where all the memes and jokes are made from cheap material. So now that I've made my jokes and had my fun, I need to actually address what's wrong with fast fashion. One, there's a huge amount of textile waste from making cheap clothing. Two, the exploitative labor practices, especially employing underage children. Terrible working conditions and not paying people. The carbon emissions from fashion in general is usually pretty bad, but because it's fast fashion, it's being produced constantly. Again, 52 seasons a year, carbon emissions skyrocket. Water use and contamination, one, the amount of water used to be constantly making low quality clothes, and the water that gets contaminated from these low quality materials and other chemicals used, which ties into the last point about this being a public health hazard. All the dyes and chemicals and toxins that are being used to produce these clothes that won't affect Americans because it's not being produced here, it's being produced overseas. Those people still have to work and live in those conditions. It's their countries that are being affected by this toxic runoff. Also, a sixth point that I feel the need to bring up, the fact that people throw these clothes away so quickly. Like, even when people think of recycling or donating, I believe it is 2/3 of the clothes that we donate never make it back into circulation, even in poor countries. A lot of times they're degraded by the time they're shipped back there anyway, so a lot of times they just end up putting them in giant landfills. Full-on landfills of just degraded old fast fashion clothing. Obviously, I've said a lot of bad things in this video, so it brings up the natural question, how do we fix something like this? Let's make this very clear. This is less of an individual person's issue and much more of a large conglomerate company issue. And as we know, the only true way to get companies' attention is to threaten their money. So doing simple things like re-wearing clothes, don't buy the latest styles, saving clothes for other seasons or reusing next year, or just buying higher grade clothing in general and not shopping at places like Zara and Shein and Forever 21 and H&M, J. Crew, Gap, Topshop, or at least shopping at those places less. Because if you take a piece of clothing that's traditionally fast fashion, but you incorporate it into your regular wardrobe, then you're reducing waste because you aren't immediately throwing it away, and you don't necessarily feel the need to buy more clothes either. Like, for example, this top that I'm wearing right now from Pretty Little Thing, completely fast fashion. However, I'm going to be wearing this for more than a week, more than a season. You'll probably see me wearing this next summer too. Again, something as little as that is just re-wearing a piece of clothing multiple times over multiple seasons is helping stop fast fashion and is helping teach companies, I hate that I had to say that, teach companies, is helping teach companies like, hey, it's not okay that you're doing this. I'm not going to continue spending money on this. And as we know, that's the major way to get their attention, threaten their money. And I encourage you guys to do the same thing, however you can. So yeah, that was a quick video about fast fashion that I just disguised and said that we were talking about memes. I thank anyone who is still around and still watching. Specifically, thank you to Sabrina for being amazing and for like scripting this out and showing me like all the different aspects of fast fashion that I hadn't even considered yet, because like I didn't know a lot about fashion in general. Like I said, follow me on all my social media. I'm amazing. I have a podcast with Hannah. Season 2 is coming out, I'm pretty sure, on Wednesday. When you're seeing this, so in like 2 days it should be coming out. It's gonna be an amazing time. Obviously I have Instagram and TikTok too. You should check me out on those. I think that's all the stuff I have to say. So let's have some fun and smile, guys, because this is just gonna be another example of people showing big corporate capitalistic America that we're not going to stand for all of its practices anymore.